guys, just some quick thoughts about the Logitech G703. So a few things. First thing you'll probably notice when you pick this thing up are the really awesome rubber side grips. I love those. The mouse feels super grippy. However, the one thing you'll probably notice too when picking it up is just how heavy it is. Now I have a scale right here, and if we weigh this is weighing in at 95 grams, which would have been respectable a few years ago, but nowadays with super light mice, that's a pretty heavy mouse, especially when you compare it to Logitech's other options, and not even just the super light that they make, but many of their gaming mice nowadays weigh less than that. Okay, the other thing, guys, the skates, they really just suck, honestly. They're really not very good. Lots of friction. You kind of feel the drag there. But what's cool, this mouse has been around for a long time, so you can easily pick up aftermarket skates. And if you get Hyperglides, for example, those are really, really good and dramatically improve the friction resistance. So I would highly recommend those. Now, as far as the clicks go, here's what they sound like. They're pretty good, you guys. I think they're a little bit loud for my liking. I prefer mice that are dead silent. But this is among the softer clicks and the quieter clicks in the Logitech's gaming mouse range. So if you're in an office environment, I would say you could probably get away with this. I just prefer mice that are dead silent. But this does work, and the clicks themselves feel pretty good. And you don't have like any sticking issues. Side buttons as well. Those feel very just tactile, and again, no sticking to the thumb or anything. The whole mouse just feels very solid, especially with those rubber grips. This thing just is a rock star. Okay, so now the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel, I like it a lot, but just know that there's not a lot of definition in between the individual scroll stages. Some people wouldn't like that. Some people probably do like that. Just depends on personal preference. So if you like to feel each stage, you'll get that here, but you'll get that more with other mice, like the G502, for example. This one is fine. I prefer this one actually over some of the other ones that do have more of a definition in between each stage. This, I think, is actually a pretty good scroll wheel. Just know that there is no side-to-side clicking like you get on the G502, for example. But I like it. I think it's super buttery smooth, and I prefer that over the super tactile implementations you find on other mice. Now, the sensor is pretty good. It's not going to be quite as high-end as you might find in something like the Superlight 2. Those mice just use some of the really newest sensors. And if you use a G703 side by side with a Superlight, for example, you will definitely notice a difference in the accuracy. But that being said, this is still really good. And I don't think it's something you really have to concern yourself with. But the technology has improved over the years, and it is noticeable. But this one is still very good. Guys, really honestly, my main gripe with this mouse, and the reason why I just have a hard time recommending it, is because of this. This is a micro USB cable. This is what you need to plug into the front of the mouse right there. This is just a really outdated connector. Now, you don't have to have this exact cable with you. You see there's like those two pitchfork ends there on the sides. You don't need that. Any standard micro USB cable will fit in there. But micro USB in general is pretty much dead at this point, and if you can avoid it, I definitely would. Now, if you don't mind that, then sure, go ahead. But I really do wish Logitech would make a version of this mouse that is significantly lighter, that uses USB-C, and that is silent. And I think they would have a really awesome mouse on their hands. But honestly, guys, with when you put all this together, so the micro USB, the heaviness, and the outdated sensor, you know, I think this mouse is just kind of dated, honestly. And even though Logitech still sells it, I really just wouldn't recommend it. I think you can get the newer mice for similar prices, and I just think this one is, unfortunately, yeah, I think it's outdated. But that's just my opinion, guys. Feel free to let me know what you think. When this mouse was released, I believe it was like back in 2015 or maybe even 2014, but probably 2015. This was a like state-of-the-art top-level mouse, but you know, it is almost 10 years old now, and I would just recommend probably one of the newer mice if you can get your hands on them. I think the conveniences of having a lightweight mouse with a modern connector and a state-of-the-art sensor would just beat this old technology. But great mouse either way. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you soon.